Hey everybody, welcome back to Brainiac Baseball's 1972 Seattle Pilots. What if scenario? We wrapped up the month of August earlier today with a unsurprising loss to the Orioles 7-0. The good news, there is a lot of good news. One, the season's almost over. We have 29 more games to go, and then we're done. Second of all, we do have the September call-ups. We're going to take a look at those today and get our rosters situated for the rest of the year. Additionally, we'll take a look at the free agent list just to see if there's anybody who's been released recently um, that might be able to help us out next year. I'm not really all that worried about this year. We'll keep them on a roster, even if they're on a major league deal. We just stash them, play them occasionally, and maybe uh, renegotiate a longer term contract. But for now, whoever we sign, it doesn't really make much of a difference. The other good news is that we do have our final free giveaway of the year. That's going to take place, of course, during the seventh inning stretch of Game 162, which will be against these Baltimore Orioles toward the end of the month of September here. So I guess it would be right about on that date, however many days that is. We have no more days off, and we have, excuse me, we have 14 road games and 15 home games. Wow, we've already lost a ton of profit. That's crazy. How did we lose all that money already? I don't know. Something's not right. But anyway, the point of it all is that we will have the final giveaway. I've already made one purchase. I've used my own money. I still have all of the donations that we've accumulated since we started doing giveaways. The prize that I picked up is worth $40. So I don't know if it's going to be a second place prize or a third place prize, but I'm pretty excited for it. It's very cool, and I think you'll all enjoy what it is when we get a chance to take a look at it. So, but we got plenty of time. Now we've got one more game against the Orioles. That'll be not tomorrow because tomorrow is race day with Grand Prix Racing Online. We have two more races, and then that season is done, and I'll get promoted to the amateur level, which will make things a lot more complicated and hopefully more fun. Um, but for now, we will, I guess, begin with the standings. Now, I have all of the 1973 cards already added for all the National League, all the American League East, and also the Angels. So I have to do the Twins and the rest of them here to complete the prep work for the 1973 season. We'll also, once we get to spring training 1973, it will create the draft players for next year, of which I'm sure we'll have the first pick. That's another good thing. But I'll have to add all the cards for them before we can get started. So there'll probably be a week of downtime between the 72 season ending and then the beginning of the 1973 season. So, okay, here's the American League standings. It's pretty much shown up for all the divisions. The Red Sox are ahead by 10. Angels are ahead by 12 and a half over the Twins. Royals and Pilots are eliminated. So are the Indians. We'll take a look at the National League. The Pirates and the Expos are eliminated. The Mets have a 9-game lead now over the Phillies. I wouldn't say that this is a done deal, but it's pretty close. Damn, the Cardinals have lost 8 in a row, and the Dodgers have basically won over the Astros. So there's really not a lot to play for the rest of the way, unfortunately, with no wild card in 1972. Another bonus of 1973, something else to look forward to, is there will be a DH. And so we will have to find someone to fill that spot. I guess now is as good a time as any before we look at the league leaders to just take a look at the free agents that are left a lot of undrafted free agents. Is there anyone worth signing? I'm going to say probably not. I mean, Joe Pepitone, we've had him for many years. We let him go and we were not able to re-sign him. And that worked out to be an okay thing because we gave Skidmore the everyday first base role. And although Joe Pepitone could play left field and right field as well as first, um, we have those positions sewed up with Cruz and Parker, and Skidmore's been great at first. So, although he did have an error today that cost us like 3 unearned runs, but nonetheless, so Pepitone would not be helpful. He's got a 70 rating now. Next year he'll be below 70, and we really need to start getting rid of all the players on our team that have under 70. I mean, they have no value. Willie McCovey would be interesting. He's looking for a 2-year deal at 56,000. My only concern, I mean, he's only 34 years old. He has not played this year. He's a left-handed bat who still has power. Is going to take a walk, which we never do. I guess my question is, how far will he drop in rating for next year? Is it worth it to take a flyer on him right now? Give him a few at bats. I mean, 56,000 is not very much money. We're going to end up with positive money no matter what. I just kind of am concerned about what's the point? Could we give the DH spot to somebody else, on our team? Or maybe there'll be another free agent available. I do regret not getting Reggie Jackson, who hit a home run against us today. That was I was being cheap and I was trying to get to the end of the year. But what's done is done. We do have Andy Etchebarren available as a catcher. He's got a good arm. We're going to need a catcher to play every day next year. Do we wait and see who's available to catch as a free agent? You know, um, we will not have Bacabella back. And as far as the other available catchers, these are all players who are undrafted free agents. So, I mean, there's nobody here that we got to have. But do we just take a quick swing on Andy Etchebarren? Again, not asking for a lot for the rest of this year and for next year. Um, 24,000, we probably could even undercut him, at least have him. I mean, the other option would be Duffy Dyer, who's a 69 rating. Etchebarren, I think, would be would absolutely be better. Better fielder, better arm. Automatically, he would be our number one starter. And we could also put him as our backup catcher if we find somebody else that we can get cheap. So I don't know. I mean, he's got a good eye. He's got a little bit of power. He can hit. I don't know. This is actually a possibility, right? We started in 1969, so he's only got 259 at bats over 4 seasons. He batted 316 that one year. I just don't, and this is a terrible reason not to sign him, but Andy Etchebarren is the player who's got the unibrow in all of his baseball cards, and I'll never forgive him for that. That's what makes that tough. So I'm going to say no on Willie. I'm going to say maybe on Andy Etchebarren. Um, and there's really nobody else left. We don't want to sign anybody that's below an overall 70. That's just replacing crap with more crap. Um, so I don't see anybody else on here that now. I mean, some of these, most of the other players who are available are undrafted free agents, so they're all young. Like Julio Cruz is only 17, He's got 93 speed. That's what he was known for. And pretty good defensive second baseman. But we do have Rodney Scott already. The only problem is if you sign an undrafted free agent, you're signing him as a free agent, and therefore he'd have to be on your roster. So that's why I never do that. Looking at the pitchers, I mean, Jack Aker did not pitch at all this year. He pitched pretty good last year. He would be one of our best pitchers if we just signed him right now. Could we get him even cheaper? Um, like would he do would he do 1 year for 20,000 just through the end of the year, and then we'll think about it? No, he's not budging. What if we do 1 year for 20? What if we do 1 year for 28? That would be prorated for 1 month. Hmm. What about 1 year for 29? 1 year for 30? Okay. Nope. No thanks. Oh, we actually had him in 1969. He had a 6.12 ERA. I didn't even remember that. Okay, well, we're just we're dilly-dallying here. Okay, there's nothing really much else to do. Now he's the most sought after free agent because of what we did there. Uh, none of these other guys are anyone that we really care about. Scrolling on down. Okay, yeah. All right. So yeah, I guess we can eliminate anybody who's a free agent for the final month of the season. We missed our window, and that's on me. So okay, let's do the leaders, and then we'll look at our roster. No, we'll do the roster. Let's do the roster. Okay, so we have we're gonna do 22 to get Fred Kendall in there because he is old. He did play last year. So the only ones that are not going to be called up are all the double A hitters and the single A hitters. There's some big names there. They're not ready for prime time. Um, Dan Meyer is going to be the big one versus righties for the rest of the year. Dan Meyer will be our first baseman. We'll platoon, and as you saw, Rose Skidmore was listed as tired anyway. He's going to need a day off. So Dan Meyer, we'll probably drop him. What do we do here? Try to get Rich Rollins a couple more hits, and get Metzger in there at short. You know what? No, this is fine. We'll do that. About sixth, center field. I mean, this is kind of our lineup, really, against right-handers right here. Uh, you'll see that nobody on our team hits righties very well, except for Dave Parker. And Jose Cruz has kind of come on strong lately. And then versus lefties, then Rose Skidmore will play first. Oop. Ah, crap. I jacked it up. Okay, let's go back to righties so I can fix that. Dan Meyer at first. There we go. And then lefties. There we go. Okay, yeah. So Bacabella. Let's do that. And who's playing second base? Metzger. Okay, yeah. So we'll get Tito, Metzger, and you know what? Let's get Greg Pryor in there. He's going to be our third baseman next year for 1 year. I mean, we're going to be bad again next year. It won't be as bad. Maybe we can get 60 wins, but I wouldn't count on a whole heck of a lot more. So we have all of these other guys available to us as well, but none of these guys are worthy. They're all under 70. We really should just eliminate everybody here, um, but we can't do that. Okay, so there's our batting lineup versus righties and lefties. The only real difference will be Dan Meyer will now be platooning with Rose Skidmore and Greg Pryor. We'll get the rest of the at bats versus lefties for sure. Now, looking at the pitching, this is where things get a little bit more interesting. Um, what do we do here? So I, what do we do? Oh, okay, yeah. So everybody's on the bullpen here. So what we'll do is we'll move up Lance Rotson, and he will become a starter. In fact, he can go to he'll go after Dave Frost. And just for shits and giggles, we'll give Dennis Leonard the number 5 spot. Oh, he's up to a 74. At one point, he was a 70. So there's our rotation for the rest of the year. Dave Frost will get a few more starts. Lance Rotson, we'll see what he can do. He is 20 years old. He did get a call up last year, got to a couple games, made one start. Let's just see if any of these guys can be in a rotation for next year. Um, okay, let's see here. Who else do we need to really find out about? Riddleberger and Dukes will be back by the end of the month, right before the end of the year. They'll get a few games to play, like 3 or 4 games. Riddleberger, we will resign. And I mean, I kind of like Mike Cosgrove, but he's a 68. Um, we'll put him in there ahead of Barry Moore, who's been a disappointment. Bill Edgerton, doesn't he have 12 walks? Yeah, 12 walks and no strikeouts this year. We'll pick our spots. I mean, Dave Roberts, we'll never see him again. Um, look at Lonborg right there. Actually, Lonborg will go there. There's Washburn, and then we're filling out the holes here. Okay. So there is our rotation for the last month of the season. We'll see if any of these chumps have anything to offer us. I almost feel like we should skip a start or two for Dave Boswell, simply because he does always get injured at the end of the year. He did in our first season where we had him half the year. He definitely did last year. I mean, here's the transactions. So well, I guess that's untrue. He missed the first month of the year in 1970 before we traded for him and gave him that horrible extension. And then he missed 3 months, well, 1 month of the year last year. And he missed 4 days earlier this season, but he did not miss a start. So we just got to kind of keep our eye on that. Okay, so there you go. I mean, we at least we'll find out if Rotson and Leonard have anything to offer. I mean, Dave Frost is only 19. He'll probably start next year in Double A and then go to Triple A when we do the draft. I mean, whenever we try to hustle these people along, like Dick Ruthven, I mean, they turn out shitty. He pitched really well in 1970 at 19 years old. And I'm like, oh my gosh, look at this. This guy's going to be great. And then we brought him back at the halfway point of 1971, I think right after the draft, and he was mediocre. And then this year he's just been terrible. So, I mean, there was I don't, is that just who he is now? Is he just garbage? Um, I don't know. So we won't find out until we. I mean, he'll be in the rotation right out of spring training next year. Absolutely, but he might even be our ace. Who knows? Okay, so there you go, guys. That's the lineup and the rotation for September. I guess all that's left to do now is to take a look at the league leaders. Here we go. We do this the same way every time. You're going to see a lot of 1973 cards, which is great. It's pretty cool. We're going to do all the batters first, and then and the fielding too, and then we'll do the pitchers, and then we'll flip over and do the National League, just the four major categories for batters and pitchers. We'll wrap it up then. Okay, so Carlton Fisk, Pudge, batting 344. Larry Bittner, Mike Derrick, a nobody, a literal nobody, and then Dave Parker, batting 309. It's nice to see someone representing us in batting average. Only 9 batters in the American League batting over 300, and the top 25 cut off at 280. And I feel like that's on purpose. Like I feel like the game says 25 batters only, 280 or better. Uh, I mean, the game's a piece of shit. We know that. Okay, so there's batting average. At bats, Rennie Stinnett of the Yankees batting with 531 at bats. Rose Skidmore's got 500. There's Stinnett, his 1973 card. Very cool. Doubles. Yeah, we have nobody on this list. I do believe Parker, it has 20. But Carl Yastrzemski, there's his card. He has 33. And fellow Fenway batter, Carlton Fisk, has 31. So that's a lot off the Green Monster there. Bittner, the GM, Blackaby. There's another Boston hitter. I mean, this is just dumb. Okay, grounding into double plays. I'm always kind of curious. Nobody in our team because we hit runs so much. Ed Herman, the catcher, did not have a 73 card. Oh, you know what? We have something else to discuss. I just realized it. We'll make sure I throw it in at the end. Um, hold that thought. Extra base hits. Well, Pudge, 59 total. I mean, now a batter will hit 50 home runs in and of itself in a season, and yet we have 1 month to go, and Carlton Fisk has 59 total extra base hits. Skidmore has 37. And this game blows. Okay, fielding percentage. Bacabella, good job this year. He's the 4th best. Thurman Munson, that makes sense, actually. Good job. And there's Thurman Munson's 73 card. First baseman, Rose Skidmore made another error today. It's going to be Doug Howard tied with Bob Spence. They're going to the 4th decimal point probably for this. There's Doug Howard. Second base. Hey, what do you know? Tito Fuentes, we're second baseman. And we got him for 1 more year. Dick McAuliffe of the Royals with cheese. At third base, it is not going to be Rich Rollins. And in fact, Greg Pryor, who's such a better defender than Rollins, is just as bad. That's awesome. Mike Ferraro, 964. He does not have a 73 card. There's Roger Metzger. I guess we should play him every day just simply because he's way better than everybody else at shortstop. We've even been playing him at second base. We'll look at his fielding percentage. At second base, he has not made an error in 13 starts. And at shortstop, you can see he's only made 4 errors since coming over from the Yankees. And we have 2 more years of him, so that's good news. We'll have Metzger until Ozzie Smith is ready, which is cool. Okay, let's take a look at left field. Yaz. Jose Cruz in the middle of the pack. He's a terrible defender. There's Rick Miller leading in center field. He was only a rookie in 72 in real life, and yeah, here he is. Fielding average for right field, Terry Crowley, Dave Parker, eighth. I think Crowley is terrible, right? He's a 66 range and a 77 fielding and a 61 arm, and yet he is the best fielder in baseball, in right field. Or not in baseball, but the American League. Great job, baseball mogul. Let's see, games played. Fred Frazier of Minnesota won up on Gary Barricat. I mean, how many people are non-existent actual players on this list? Fred Frazier, Barricat, Ferraro did play. Ethan Blackaby never played. Montreal never played. A lot of one-hit wonders. Mike Derrick never played. So, what is that, 5? 5 of the 25 are players who never played in Major League Baseball. Hits. Rennie Stinnett, 163. He's got 14 more than anybody else. Rose Skidmore with 135. Dave Parker with 127. Remember, we sent him down for a month to try to get him to improve. I guess it worked. But where would he be if we'd kept him up for a month? Would we have won a couple more games? Probably, but not that it matters. Who's been hit by the pitch the most? Ron Woods. There's his 73 card for the Expos. Scott Northey right there. Who's hit the most home runs? You want to know that? It's Tony Solita. This guy wasn't even in the major leagues until 1975, and all he's done is hit 150 home runs in our 4 years. Unbelievable. And these are all just absolute nobodies. Okay, Carlton Fisk, Bobby Mercer, Stargell. There's 3 home run hitters. I wouldn't even say Fisk, but we'll be generous here. Mike Epstein was a home run hitter. Not Monday, not tennis, not any of these schlubs. Nobody. None of these guys were home run hitters. All right. Intentional walks. Solita has 8. Nobody in our team, nobody's getting intentionally walked. Okay. On base percentage, yeah. Fisk, 427. 4 batters over 400. Nobody in our team among the leaders. Outfield assists. This is maybe the least respectable category of any of the categories. The only way people get assists in this game is when you run on them and they throw you out, even when they have a 66 rated arm, like Terry Crowley. So you can't even give them any actual credence here. Opponent's batting, I'm sorry, on base plus slugging OPS. Good to see Parker on there above 800. Carlton Fisk over 1,000. Got those big 59 extra base hits. Plate appearances. It's going to be John Knox. Again, not even in the major leagues in real life, but he's got 590 plate appearances. Don't care about range factor. RBI, Tony Solita and Mike Derrick, both above 100. Tim Housley for Detroit, a catcher who never really existed. He'll also join another teammate who had never actually existed. And they'll have both over 100, but Rose Skidmore at 85. He hasn't had one in so long now, but thought maybe he might get to 100. Probably will not. Runners thrown out. Bacabella, don't run on Bacabella. Apparently don't run on Rick Stelmazik. For Texas, formerly Washington, there's Herman, Healy, Duffy Dyer's got 4 already. Okay, that's pretty cool. What about the percentage? Well, not so great for Bacabella there, 27%. And yeah, of course, Carlton Fisk would be the worst. That makes sense. Okay, runs scored. Mike Derrick, 101. He's got, he's got a minor league hat on because he never had a baseball card, and he has the most runs scored. Sacrifice hits. It's going to be all yellow. Greg Pryor, Dave Boswell. He had one today. Scott Northey, Jim Lonborg. This is the only thing we do well. It's good to see we've got some highlights. Sacrifice flies. Jose Cruz has 5. Mike Fiore with 12. Um, let's see. Slugging percentage is Carlton Fisk by a significant amount. There's Parker and Skidmore. Let's take a look at steals. Dave Nelson with 41. Dave Moats. This is what I love about the 1973 baseball cards. I mean, who's Dave Nelson in this picture? Is it the guy who's on the ground? Is it the guy looking at him? Could it have been the pitcher? I mean, it's a baseball card of a person, and yet there's 3 people and an umpire in this picture. Um, it's just I mean, they didn't really think that through. But I still love it. I'm only complaining because it's just ridiculous, but also I enjoy these early color baseball cards where they were really making an effort to show more action instead of just a portrait with an airbrushed baseball hat on. So this is the transitional stage from like 72 through 74. And then 75 just started becoming what we know today. Roger Metzger's on the list. Scott Northey got to 20. We may not steal another base all year. Okay, let's see here. Steal success. Scott Northey, 75% almost. I mean, that's what you want. A good base stealer will steal 75% of the time. Who has struck out the most? Clement Sanders, who I don't think will probably play another game all year now that they got Lafari at Baltimore. Tim Hosley, Bearcat. Nobody on our team. Again, we hit and run a lot. Um, let's see here. What are we looking at? Strikeout percent. Tito Fuentes at 10%. Larry Bowe's the best. Total bases. I expected it to be Fisk, but it's not. It's Derek. Rose Skidmore and Dave Parker on the list. 2 good hitters this year. Will Skidmore come through next year? I don't know. Hopefully, Jose Cruz will step back up because we're going to give him some money this year. Rudy Mioli has 10. Wow. 23, 10, and 7 for the rookie. Probably won't even play next year. Who walks the most? Tony Solita and Gene Tennis. Rick Monday. Nobody on our team. Okay, so there you go. Let's do the pitchers now, and then we'll flip over, and then we'll talk about the most important thing we need to talk about, really. Um, complete games. We're just going to go in order. Joe Coleman with the bat in his hand, with Ken Holtzman of the Yankees. They both have 10. And there you go. Nobody in our team. Although we said Boswell has 4. That's something. ERA. Marcelino Lopez, a 2.54. In fact, there's only 5 pitchers under 3. And we've even got 2 that's above 4. Nobody in our team. Okay. Let's see. Games pitched. Lots of yellow here. Shockingly, We are not leading. It is Don Newhouser. Ray Peters has 63. Sid Mungie, who we sent down for 2 weeks, right there. Wayne Granger, we can't even put him in the ball game anymore. Lock him down, lock. Barry Moore, Riddleberger, despite being injured for so long, right down there. Okay. Jeffrey Vollweiler has 37 double plays. He's induced. Who's hit the most batters? Oh no, Dave Boswell. Is that normal? I don't even really remember that. So he had 13 in 1969, the first year of a sim, 8, and then 5. No, I'm sorry, 9, and then 4, and then 9 this year. So I guess he does have a history of that. I would not have guessed that. Home runs allowed. Boswell's given up 25, including 3 today. Jim Lonborg, 19. Wayne Garland couldn't even score a run on him today, including back-to-back shutouts for Garland. That makes a lot of sense. Good job, baseball mogul. Innings pitched. Nobody on our team. Yeah, we could have a handful of guys get over 300 innings pitched. Let's take a look at quality starts. I don't really care about this, but hey, Dave Boswell's got 15. Marcelino Lopez with 26. Saves. Newhouser with 26. I don't know why the game swaps out closers so often for the computer AI. Really, Don Newhouser is the only one that's been day in, day out, the closer for their team. Now, I guess this was an era when people weren't racking up 40 saves either, but I don't know. I just feel like it's never going to get that right. But who knows? Jetties. We got 4 people with 4, including Tom Bradley. We updated his baseball card. Still got the cool shades on, as he did in 72. Starts. Doc Ellis has 34. He's going to get to 40. Yeah, Boswell's on the list. Strikeouts pitched. Sam McDowell, 191. Nobody's going to get to 300. That's crazy. Dave Boswell has 150 with his 4 today. That's pretty good. There's Sam McDowell. Once again, they create this action shot. You got the second baseman right there. I don't know who this is. Someone on the Red Sox, I guess. It's got to be spring training. There's nobody in the stands. So maybe that's Pete Rose for the Reds or something. That's crazy. I mean, it's just crazy. It's going to be a lot of fun when we get to look at all the cards. Okay, strikeouts pitched. Strikeouts per 9. Hey, Dave Boswell and Sam McDowell, 7.74. That's exciting. So if we extrapolated Dave Boswell to the same level as Sam McDowell, he would be 191. That's crazy. Walks per 9. Gary Nolan, least walks. And wins. Oh, we actually have a 20-game winner with a month to go. Ken Holtzman, 20-5, a 2.56 ERA, 10 complete games and 4 shutouts. This is your Cy Young Award winner right now. I don't know who else is going to get there. Drops off to 17. That's pretty interesting. Okay, let's go ahead and pull up batting average, and then we'll click on National League. Ralph Garr. We'll open it up, I guess. Why not? They have 12 batters, 300 and over, and Billy at 13 there, just 1 point off. So that race is kind of over. Steve Garvey. I mean, there's real hitters here at least. I mean, Garvey, well, okay. Alex Johnson won a batting title. Dave Concepcion, that doesn't make any sense. Okay, so maybe not. Then we have home runs. Michael Jack Schmidt, 43. Could he get to 50? That would be cool. And George Foster's a home run hitter. Darrell Evans is a home run hitter. Bernie Carbo is. I mean, Steve Garvey's a 25 home run hitter. The Penguin is. Bench is a home run hitter. Rico Petrocelli is a home run hitter. Tony Perez is in the 25s. Kenny Singleton, too. Bobby Bonds as well. So at least they have some home run hitters in the National League. But a 13 home run difference between first and second, and then the drop off. Runs batted in. Schmidt's got 112. Foster will get there. Garvey, Darrell Evans, and Billy Parker will get there. And then stolen bases, Davey Lopes, 64. Bobby Bonds, Lou Brock. Matt Alexander, for some reason, is always good. Joe Morgan's missed most of the year. Let's take a look at the pitchers, and then we'll talk about what we have to talk about. I've already kind of decided it, but we're gonna put it out there. We got ERA, we've got wins, we've got strikeouts pitched, and we've got saves. Okay, Nolan Ryan has the best ERA. He's got the most wins. He's also got the most strikeouts. So there's your Cy Young winner right there. And Ray Lambda has 24. Cool. All right. So there you go, guys. There are the league leaders with 1 month to go in the season. Should be interesting. Okay, here's what we got to talk about, and then we're done. Take a look here. How are we going to fix this? I've already decided, but I'm gonna throw it out there one more time, and maybe I'll even do a poll. We got to redo the American League East and the American League West. We must put the Rangers in the West, and that means a team will have to move to the East. Is it going to be the White Sox, the Twins, or the Royals? My geography is not great in my brain, but I think of those three teams, the White Sox are the furthest east team of the options, right? Like, I don't think Minnesota is. I don't think St. Paul or Minneapolis is. And Kansas City is kind of directly south, but I'm not sure. Um, so I think the White Sox are going to be the team that's going to swap with the Rangers next year. Remember, when the year started, I had already demanded that Major League Baseball wouldn't know what to do under this circumstance when we kept the Seattle Pilots in Seattle and Milwaukee doesn't exist yet. So I demanded that the MLB would be dumb. They wouldn't know what to do. They would leave the Rangers in the East for 1 year. So they didn't really shake it up much. And now the Rangers will go to the West. And I believe it'll be the White Sox that'll go to the East. That did not happen in real life. It's just what we're going to have to do. Because it's our own universe. We can do whatever we want within reason. I want to, as terrible as this game is, I want to try to keep some level of realistic integrity. So there you go. That's what we need to consider. Think about it yourself. Let me know in the comments. Maybe we'll do a poll. To me, logically, it's got to be the White Sox, but I mean, I'm not sure. Okay, there it is. 45 minutes on the clock. That's a pretty good time frame to wrap it up. We're going to be coming back in 2 days. There will not be a game tomorrow because it is race day. So we'll be back on Wednesday with the first game of the final month of the season. Until then, everyone, have a great day.